What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Charles Wells, the host of SWAC Talk, coming at you. And we're going to hop back into the SWAC Talk time machine and take a trip back to 1999. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and throw out all the socials as per usual. They're down in the description below. SWAC Talk 76 at gmail.com is an email address. Facebook.com/SWAC Talk. Instagram.com/SWAC Talk. SWAC Talk 76 at Twitter.com. I said that backwards, but it's the Twitter page, SWAC Talk 76. SWAC Talk is a podcast first and foremost, and that can be found on anchor.fm/SWAC Talk. Also can be found on Spotify, Stitcher, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And this Sunday, we'll be dropping an episode of the podcast, and I will be doing a 2021 spring football review of the entire season, give my thoughts and everything on how that whole season turned out. Now we're going to hop into the SWAC Talk time machine. And for those who have not seen this is a little project that I'm working on personally. I want to cover and review every SWAC championship game. So for my first two episodes, I covered the two teams that were playing in this year's SWAC championship game, 2006 championship between UAPB and Alabama A&M, and the 2012 championship game between Jackson State and UAPB. So now I'm going to start at the very beginning in 1999 and take it on up and cover the rest of them to the 2019 game. So this is going to be something that I'm just going to enjoy doing. If you enjoy this, then I appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for the love. We're at 125 subscribers. I can't thank y'all enough for the support, and let's continue to grow and check out the page. If you have not subscribed yet, then please do so. Go ahead and like all the videos, share them, hit that notification bell so you could be alerted to any videos that I upload in the future. So with all that out the way, let's talk about this 1999 SWAC championship game. In 99, the SWAC, as a little background for those who may be new to this, in 1999, the SWAC expanded to 10 teams officially. In 97, UAPB joined the conference. In 98, A&M was kind of a provisional member, but they became an official member in 99. So with that being said, the league decided to split the conference up into two 5-team divisions and have a championship game at the end of the season to crown the champ that way. And the winner would go on to the Heritage Bowl. So in 99, Southern and Jackson State were probably the two top teams in the conference, and they had been that for quite some time. Southern had won the championship in 93, 95, 96, 97, and 98. Jackson State was the champs in 95, and I want to say they were the champs in 92. No, 1990, I know. But both teams had won quite a few SWAC championships in the 90s. Jackson State had a very explosive offense led by quarterback Mark Washington, running back Destry Wright, and Sylvester the Cat Morris at wide receiver, along with Daniel Guy, who's another big play guy. Defensively, they had Rashard Anderson, who was an NFL prospect at cornerback, Tommy Head, who was a big-time linebacker, and a gang of other guys on that defense. Jackson State was beating everybody pretty soundly throughout the season. They only lost to Tennessee State in the Southern Heritage Classic and Southern in a 26-14 game in Jackson during the regular season. Southern was the other way. They were kind of a team who had a very good defense. The Dog Day defense was really, really strong that year. But offensively, they didn't have a good flow. They were starting a new quarterback that season in Troy Williams. And they kind of won some games that were closer than they should have been. But defensively, they did a really good job of shutting teams down. They had one bad game on the season, fam. You beat the Buffalo 16. And then in the Bayou Classic, they had to make a huge comeback to win that game to head to the SWAC championship, because with the way the league was set up at that point, the league decided that the only games that would count in the standings were your 4 divisional games. So with that being said, you needed to win all 4. You could not afford to slip. So both teams came in at 4-0 in conference. And I would be remiss in saying that in the Bayou Classic, Southern's quarterback Troy Williams actually got hurt, and Terrence Levy came in to relieve him, and he led Southern on a furious comeback in the second half to win that game. So he was starting this game, and in the first half, especially the first quarter, Southern would get on the board first, but Levy was really not sharp at all in the first half. He was overthrowing a lot of guys. He just was kind of not really in the flow of things. And, you can honestly probably chalk it up to not really having a lot of playing experience, and playing in a game is huge. Jackson State would score a couple times early to take a 14-10 lead, 14-7 lead on, 14-3 lead on Southern, and Southern would get a couple big touchdowns to go ahead 17-14. And at that point, Southern would rack up another couple scores. And they played, the first half was honestly a really good game. It was back and forth. Both teams were trying to kind of they were trying to kind of prove themselves and get every make a point to each team that they were the big dog. But neither team would really bend, and this was definitely, like they say, a heavyweight fight. Both teams were trading punches, and they could not knock the other one out. Southern had a huge third quarter to go ahead 20-10. That was the score at that point. Jackson State would score 20 points in the fourth quarter to take a 30-24 lead, and then Southern would score on a 26-yard touchdown pass from Terrence Levy to Devin Lewis to make the score 31-30 after the extra point. Southern would intercept a pass late in the game and seal the game that way. One of the big names in this game was Michael Hayes, wide receiver from Southern. He had two long touchdown passes, 69 and 81 yards each. Running back Ryan Lewis from Southern also had a 69-yard touchdown run. Daniel Guy from Jackson State had a 40-yard run. And they, both teams played well. I mean, this was a very, very huge atmosphere, 47,000 people in attendance. And you could not ask for a better opportunity for your first ever SWAC championship game to be Southern and Jackson. Those were the two best teams in the league, the two best fan bases, the two best bands, the two best everything. And you get them together in Legion Field and let them duke it out for the championship. And it really was what you expect. Southern kind of had their way with Jackson defensively in the first game, but Jackson's offense was very explosive that year. You really could not stop them anyway. If you tried to take the pass away, Destry Wright would eat you alive with the running game. If you committed guys to the running game, then they would pass the ball all over the field on you. So you really just could not outshoot them, and they would score and score often. If you fell behind, then you were going to be buried. So with Southern falling behind early, a lot of people kind of got nervous that Jackson State would be able to put the game away, but Southern was able to be resilient, which was one of the things that Southern did that year. They constantly had a lot of games that they had to kind of fight to get through, and they drew on that experience to get the win and win the first ever SWAC championship game. And they would go on to play Hampton in the Heritage Bowl, which they would lose 24-3, I believe. But this game was a game that I know that probably behind the scenes a lot of people weren't quite sure how it would work out. The first time you do anything, it's always gonna be nerves, and you kind of hoping that everything works out. But this game has continued, and it's had its ups and downs. Attendance has not always been huge. When you make a game and you hope for a matchup like this, you also have to kind of expect and anticipate matchups between teams who don't have huge fan bases that may not draw that kind of interest. So, they really rolled out all the bells and whistles for this game. They invited all other SWAC bands to this game and did basically a big halftime Battle of the Bands type show after the game. I was actually at this game, and I enjoyed a lot, and I had never really been to Birmingham before, and it was an opportunity. But, now with the games kind of hopefully still being at campus sites, you can get this kind of atmosphere year in and year out. That's one of the things that I did like about the Southern Alcorn games the last 2 years being at a campus site is you have a lot of people who are able to go who may not have been able to go to those kind of games in a neutral site. It also doesn't hurt that Southern and Alcorn about 2.5 hours apart, so that helps, with people traveling. So this is just a quick kind of revisitation of this game. I don't really have a lot of stats as I like to normally do because I could not find a box score for this game, so I kind of went off the dome a little bit. And I just, I wanted to go ahead and start it off with this for the official rollout, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this. And let me know what you thought about this game. If you have not seen it, check out Alex Hines' channel on YouTube. He has this game on there. If you want to watch it, you can go ahead and watch it. I will advise you that please be aware that Joe Clara was on the sideline and he was wilding out. So if you know who Joe Clara is, he was like a comedian type of guy. Did a lot of work on BT. He was kind of wilding out a little bit. That may not be for everybody's taste, but that is what it is at that point in time. This game was actually broadcast by BET on tape delay, but the game was still, covered and was witnessed by many people. So again, attendance was over 47,000, and this game would continue to grow. And honestly, I guess you could say it was a success for the league. It's been in Birmingham, it's been in Houston, it's been at campus sites, it's been in Jackson now. So we'll be back on Sunday for kind of like a review video of the spring 2021 season. Like I said, I also have a podcast, a longer version of that on a podcast on Sunday. We'll be back next Wednesday with another edition of the SWACtalk Time Machine, and we'll revisit the 2000 SWAC Championship Game. And this is honestly a lot of fun. I mean, it's not fun when you can't find box scores because I love box scores. I'm a numbers geek, but I couldn't find anything, and I didn't want to sit down and just jot down all the stuff I heard on the game. But I just really wanted to draw from my experience of being there, and it was it was cold being in Birmingham, sitting in that stadium, but it was fun. I didn't get a chance to go to Heritage Bowl that year, but it was a game that didn't quite turn out the way that many people thought. Southern and Hampton had played in the earliest part of the regular season. Southern won that game. Hampton won the rematch, and that was actually the last Heritage Bowl ever. It became a Celebration Bowl, I guess you could say technically, in the future, but that was the last ever Heritage Bowl. So that's kind of a nice little side note to throw on there. So with that being said, man, I'm Charles Wells. You see my name right there, C. Wells. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this game. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. Come back and let me know what you thought about it in the comments. And we can chop it up in the comments. And I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day. And we'll see you guys on the rebound.